Thanks to the support as a channel member, Liam Taylor. Very exciting news. The club have announced that we're going semi-pro before the new season starts. I have no idea if that's going to mean a new contract for me, maybe some income for me. But if it does, it might be time to finally move out of my office at the ground and get somewhere to live. I'm having a look at properties available in Massachusetts. I've searched for specifically cheap homes in Massachusetts. That's literally what I'm looking for here on Property Shark. It looks like the cheapest place is $89,000 in Provincetown, but Provincetown is miles away from Bourne. Dennisport, a little bit closer, $99,000, and we could buy this house or condominium, which as a British person, I don't really know what a condominium is, but it looks, this looks like a pretty decent sized house. Which, I can have my property tour and all sorts. It's just a normal little starter home. They've got a room. They've got loads of chairs. For a starter home, there's a lot of chairs in it. This looks as good as the house I live in now for a fraction of the price that I would have to pay. It's even got an unfinished wall. I've studied the map. That's Provincetown all the way up there, which, unless you can swim across Cape Cod Bay, which is probably unlikely. Are there ferries or something that go across here? This is over an hour's drive to get all the way around here to Bourne, whereas Dennisport is down here, and that's only a 35-minute drive, 30 miles away from Dennisport to Bourne. That seems doable. But in order for me to be able to get $99,000 worth of mortgage, I need to be earning a minimum of $350 a week on my new salary. So let's see if I get a new contract. Let's see if I actually get a salary. Let's see if it's enough. And while we're at it, we should probably do some transfers as well. Hello, welcome to part 7 of Bourne in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special as we head into a summer in which we are officially going semi-pro. I know I asked about it in the last episode and was told no, but as soon as the season was finished and promotion was, it was already confirmed, but I don't know. They took their time over it. Silly old Goran Pavlov. It was announced that in August, we're going to go semi-pro, which is a little bit complicated for the transfer window because it means I have to do the transfer window effectively as an amateur club. And then when the new season starts, we go semi-pro. And at that point, I guess I can start offering some money and renegotiating a contract of my own. My contract at the moment is still just a week-to-week, month-to-month, no money dearly. Which expires at the end. In fact, it expires in a week's time because it is week to week. So fingers crossed, I can get a more I don't think I'm going to get a mortgage on a week to week contract. In other news as well, we finished the season terribly. That was the last episode where we won the league. We didn't finish invincible. And believe it or not, I wasn't messing around doing loads of rotation like I did against GPS Omens in the last episode. We can pick any of these games. Let's pick the one against the Rhode Island Oceaneers. And you can see we played our first choice team. But form just fell off a cliff. It all went wrong. 3 defeats, 2 draws. We still got over 100 points and scored over 100 goals. The playoffs look interesting as well, the regional playoffs. I'm glad we're not getting a part of them. But we won the league, and that's the important thing. And now we're going to be moving up into Tier 9, and we'll see how we fare at that level and see what we can bring in over the summer to try and improve this squad. If we have a look at our season review for the season just gone, there's your confirmation that we did win the Eastern League. Our signing of the season went down as Kevin Smith. Not that one. I'm recording this before the results of the poll are in. I'm recording this on Friday. So if you all hate the not that one thing, you've got another episode or 2 of it yet before I stop doing it. And if you all love it, it's staying forever, or at least until we replace him. But 46 goals from 43 appearances with a 7.63 average rating. You can't really argue. Apparently, we got a C for that. The board are content with the deal to sign him. He's literally here for free on an amateur contract and has had a season like that. And Goran Pavlov is content with that. I'm not really... I think he's expecting me to turn up with Mitar Jackie every day. So we were expected to finish mid-table. We did win the league. An average home attendance of 250 people is awesome. I don't know how that compares to the other average attendances in the league. We'll have a look at that in a second. But we did win everything comfortably. Obviously, the other clubs haven't yet got stadiums, so that playing field will start to level as time goes on. As we're starting to deal with money this summer, you can see I have switched over to dollars and even US English. So we've now got jersey sales rather than shirt sales, and all the players are on vacuuming leave rather than holiday, or whatever VAC might stand for, presumably vacuuming leave. But no broadcast revenue or prize money at this level, but we did get a little bit of sponsorship and corporate pennies, and we did sell 50 shirts, which I'm actually quite pleased with selling 50 shirts, and pretty surprised that Hernandez sold more shirts than, in fact, the two Hernandezes sold more shirts than anybody else at the club, which is just odd. This was our team of the season. Diallo in goal, a back four of Panico. Panico, by the way, I forgot to mention in the last episode, Panico left. Panico went to join the GPS Omens. He might have even played against us in the last episode and I didn't notice. I'm sure you'll have told me all about that in the comments section if that did happen. But Panico, Vargas, Jones and more. Old Man Atencio and Edgar in midfield. Old Man Atencio, by the way, hasn't yet announced his retirement, which is awesome. Also, it looks like on the latest update, they've finally fixed the thing where you can click on stuff in the end of season review and it not restart the review, which is awesome. Kakaburis on the left, Hernandez on the right. And then Kevin Smith and Prince Fletcher up front. And we should have set a whole load of records this year because it was the first season, not just because we were great. So Smith gets Fans Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Signing of the Season and Top Scorer. Goal of the season went to Prince Fletcher. Most assists also to Fletcher. Highest average rating to Smith. And Old Man Atencio has the most passes completed per 90 minutes. That's an award, apparently. 37 passes completed in 90 minutes for a 45-year-old veteran midfielder. These are all the records that we've broken. I imagine, it looks like we haven't set any competition awards, but we've broken every club record because it's the first season. So you'd expect us to break every record. It'll be interesting to see if we continue to break them as time goes on. One thing that has happened, which I speculated would happen, if we go into the Hall of Fame, I'm now no longer anywhere near it because all the other seasons are finished as well. So everyone who's won leagues higher up the pyramid than me has now gone into the Hall of Fame, and my one Hall of Fame point is not enough to get me in the mix. It was nice while it lasted. We'll be back in the Hall of Fame, probably not for a good few years now, though. Club vision for next season, they're looking for a top half finish in the Tier 9 league, whichever one we end up in. We don't yet know which one we're going to end up in. We have to play attacking, direct, counter-attacking soccer. I mean, that is just, every part of that is a load of dribble, really. Well, counter-attacking, attacking, direct, soccer. Might have to turn US English off. Don't know if I can cope with this. That's our team leaders. Atencio was team leader, but he's now dropped down to highly influential player. I feel like he might be getting ready to hang up his boots. We obviously need to have a bit of a reshuffle in certain areas this year. It's done the normal thing of saying, look, that guy scored 46 goals. He's only a 2-star player. And of course, he could leave at any point. This is the problem we're going to have. He could leave at any moment, as could everybody else. I don't really know how this summer is likely to go. It's very difficult to plan for when we're an amateur club. We'll just trial good free trial. Well, anyone who comes up on the scout report who is unattached will get a trial. We'll sign the ones that are any good. We'll scout the ones that aren't yet released. And if players leave, we'll maybe go to a little bit more effort to try and replace them. What is stopping anything from showing on here? So there's nobody unattached yet. So I guess we need to wait for contracts to expire because at the moment there's nobody unattached, which is problematic. Let's do a little bit of time travel, and I don't know when contracts expire because we don't have contracts. I don't know when there'll be freebies available. We're playing this very much by ear. Oh my word, cancel all plans that we talked about like for the first 10 minutes of the video. The decision to turn semi-pro has been brought forward. We're semi-pro now, so we can do our transfer window as a semi-pro club. The original thing was August, and I've been offered a contract on £950 a week. A 2-year contract. Forget what we were looking at before, house-wise. We can go big. Let's go find a house we can actually afford now. So rather disturbingly for long-time viewers, Halifax, the British bank that I normally do my mortgage calculating with, don't exist in the US. They don't lend in America. So we've had to go to nerdwallet.com, not a sponsor, to try and work out how much we can borrow. So on $950 a week, and that's an annual income of $49,400. So a 30-year mortgage, it's put an interest rate in for me, so I'll just leave it as it is. That seems a little high to me. No debt payments. It's added in property tax. It did all this for me. I've not added in any of these numbers myself. The important number is that we can borrow up to $320,000. Obviously, we're going to need to put a down payment down. Let's assume that I've saved up all my shrimp catching money and there's a little bit of a down payment, but we'll look for a property of $320,000 in the Bourne area and see what we can find. So likewise, no Rightmove in the US, but we do have Realtor.com. We can only search for a max of $200,000 or $400,000. We put 400 in. We'll have to make sure we don't go over 320. Can we sort this by price? There's 10 homes apparently, so actually we don't need to filter it too much. Those three are all too expensive. That one is doable. We've got a few caravans, or I guess they're trailers. We can get land. Oh, should we buy some land? Or we might buy land. There's loads of land for sale. I'm buying land, boys and girls. A 2.8 acre lot. Do I get all of this beautiful land? I'm buying the land and I'm buying a tent. And one day I'll build a house on my land. I've got land. I've got the sea. Amazing. Of course, the one very significant downside to my new salary is our total income for this season was $96,000. My new salary is half of that. Just my salary is going to take half of the income we brought in last year. I don't anticipate having much available for players. Our payroll rather than our wage. I love it. Rather than our wage budget, $863 a week. Now, I know if we were properly doing it US style, we'd look at annual salaries, but that would just pickle my brains too much. So we're going to do it weekly still because, that's how football works. But do we now offer salaries to any of this lot? Probably not. What do we do? Now, there's some sad news. Old man Atencio, still the best player at the club, I'd like to add. Best player at the club has decided he's going to retire in 3 days' time. We're going to ask him to reconsider, but this might be the end. He's got staff attributes. Hold on. Old man Atencio wants to be a head coach like me. Forget that, old man Atencio. Have we got any gaps? Can we add a coach? Can we ask for another coach? Coach is allowed. Can we have a space for another coach, please? In the meantime, let's offer him a new In fact, let's wait and see what he's got to say first. He might agree to play on for another season. If he doesn't, we need to give him a job as a coach. But the board might not let me do that. Come on, Goran. We need him in as a coach. He's going to decide in the next couple of days. We can't add any more coaches. So really, the only way old man Atencio is going to be sticking around beyond the 22nd of June, 2 days' time, is if he decides to play on for another year, which is going to be troublesome. My general manager, Jonathan Hull, has made an offer for a striker. I mean, normally I only let them do the loans, but in the circumstances, he's pretty good, isn't he? We'll have him. Everyone else is leaving, by the way. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to... what do I do? Do I offer this guy a contract? It's so difficult at this stage, especially now I've seen this. Because he's much better than everyone else at the club. So what I don't want to do is offer contracts to anyone who's already here and then realise they're all rubbish. Because that would be a disaster. Well, that's a sad way to lose your best player. We've got to offer him a staff job anyway. Even if it means selling somebody. Can we not offer him a... Oh, no, I can. Okay, so can we bring him in as an under-18s coach? We've got a gap for the... Yes, we'll have him as under-18s coach. That'd be perfect. Come on, old man Atencio. He's never going to leave us. Well, we've just been hit with a double blow there. On the day old man Atencio retires, Kevin Smith, not that one, has gone to the New Hampshire Bobcats. Clearly wanting to maintain... I was going to say maintain his amateur status, but they're semi-pro as well. He's dropped back down a division. They're still not paid him. Oh. Well, they're going up as champions next year. Old man Atencio is now unemployed. So he has left. Hopefully he's about to come back as a youth coach. I feel like this summer's already going wrong. I don't want to admit that I've already broken the game, but old man Atencio has signed his new contract to be an under-18 coach, but he's also still showing as unemployed. But on his history, it's showing he has been a born under-18s coach. But if we then have a look at the staff that we've got at the club, we don't have him listed as an under-18s coach. So, I mean, decide amongst yourselves whether he's here or not, I guess. Is he going to be listed on this? I don't know if he's here. Oh, Manatencio. Maybe it goes through in a few days. Right, we have a slight problem in that all of the clubs at our level, because the majority of them are semi-pro, well, they're all semi-pro or amateur, none of them have contracts, so none of them have released any players. And because it was the first season with it all being newly created, there's been almost no young players released as well. So my normal trick of coming on here and trying to get free transfers, the only thing there was 2 strikers. So they're both going to be coming in on trial. But those two aside, I'm just making sure I have actually offered them trials. There's nothing. So we're having to rethink how I do my summers a little bit. It is the 1st of July. We've still not ticked over into the Tier 9 league yet because the playoffs are still going on in Tier 10. But what we're going to have to do, I think, is just poach players from other teams because everybody is just still at their other teams. So we're going to need to work out what we want and go get them. So, for example, if we want Boris Kotylyarov, we probably need to just go and get him and take him off of the team that he's at the moment. So he's at the New Hampshire Bobcats. So let's try and take him. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it without offering him loads of money. See, this is going to be a problem straight away, just how much money they want. But then he will come in as a star player. Let's just try and push this down as far as possible. When there's other teams in for him, but that's going to take up a massive chunk of our wage budget. We can't do that with many players. We're going to have to get maybe 7 or 8 players of that kind of quality and fill out the rest of the team with the amateurs and the youth. This is what the squad looks like at the moment. We've had a bit of an exodus go on already. And if we have a look at all the players who were in and around the first team who've left since the start of the summer, Kakaburis has gone, Jones has gone, Edgar's gone, Smith's gone, Moore's gone, Ruvalcaba's gone, Dieterich, I don't know who Dieterich is, so I'm not that bothered that he's gone. But lots of players have left and I've not brought anybody in yet. That one guy that my director of football tried to bring in, we couldn't offer him the salary that he wanted. And on top of all that, we're already in debt just from paying my salary so far. At least I've got my land. Love my land. Next problem on what is a disastrous summer so far. All these players who I just agreed with you, I was going to make offers for. I did. We agreed terms with them, and now they're coming in one by one and just rejecting the contract offer with no reason. The contract offers we've just agreed to. And I don't know why. We're not going to have a team. Just not going to have a team. Well, we've finally been moved up into our new league, and our new league is the Atlantic National League. So these are the teams that we're going to be coming up against this season. So still presumably around the similar sort of area. Boston are still knocking around in there. I guess it's a slightly larger geographical area than the one we were in before because there's half as many leagues in Tier 9 as there is in Tier 10. Stadiums are starting to appear as well. Some of these will be stadiums that the club's already had, but you can see like the Boston City Stadium, that's probably one that's just been built. Yeah, so stadiums are starting to come through for all the other teams now as well, which is excellent, even down in the league we were in before. If we go back and have another look at the Eastern League from last year and see the stadiums, you can see that pretty much everyone in the Eastern League has got a stadium now. So stadiums are starting to come in, so that's going to be less of an advantage for us now. I guess it's also going to be interesting to see where we sit on the season preview. Mid-table, 10th. I can probably cope with that. 10th. If we finish 10th this year, bearing in mind the summer we've had so far, I think I can definitely cope with that. We've got nobody in the Dream 11. Interestingly, this lot, who are a newly promoted side, are considered favourites. South Georgia Tormentor FC. They're a much bigger club than us, presumably. And Boston City were relegated from Tier 8. You're expected to fall straight back through the system as well. If we try and find who our best player is on this list, we have to scroll an awfully long way. We've got a couple of boys in there very near the bottom. And we've made a couple more signings since you were last with me as well. A few more of the regulars from last year have left, which is not ideal. It feels like Seacoast United Phantoms are taking all of our players. They've only taken 2 of them. The New Hampshire Bobcats have had a couple as well. They're all rascals. I think last time I spoke, we'd signed these 2. We've now signed a couple more. Sam Williams can play anywhere across an attacking midfield front 3. 4.5-star current ability player. He's in from Elm City, who were in this league last year. And Pablo Gonzalez, who's an attacking midfielder, 28 years old. He was playing for Rhode Island in this league last year, and apparently this year too, even though it hasn't started yet. I don't know why. They are the 2 best players at the club now, though. So we're kind of building around them. It does lead me to think that we need to play a 4-2-3-1 next year. So we should probably get one of those trained if we bin this off. And because we've got natural wingers, we've got a natural attacking midfielder. I mean, are we really going to do a control possession? Apparently, we've got the players who can do it. I'm quite tempted to go in trying to control possession. I've not tried to do this for years. Should we see what this looks like? Let's get that training. We're going to try and control possession and outpass teams, which is going to be easy. We haven't got a defence, but we are strong in midfield. So maybe we can outpass teams. These are the areas where we're definitely strong. We could do with a striker. We definitely need defenders. And Sugar Plums, how has that happened? I don't understand what's happened there. What's all these £35 per week things? What? Why is he on a youth contract now? Who's done this? Why is everyone who was in on an amateur contract? Why have they all been given youth contracts? Oh, this is a big problem. We've got no defenders. Everyone said they wished I'd do something a bit more like Apollon. Problem solved. Right, I think I know what's happened with all these £35 a week salaries. I think it's anybody who was 16 or younger who was on an amateur contract has automatically, the game's kind of assumed they're youth players and has given them the standard $35 a week youth contract, but without an end date. So if we decide we don't want them, we could offer, we can just release them. They're out of contract, but it's difficult knowing which ones to release. If we have a look at the under 23s, I guess anybody who's not going to be in the team, who's on one of these £35 a week contracts, probably needs to be released, but he's got 5-star potential. This guy is our second best right winger. He's got 5-star potential. It seems wrong to release him. But then you look at someone like Brad Vega, who's our 4th choice left back. I just don't think we can afford to keep him around. So I think we're going to have to release a lot of these $35 a week, random contracts. And then with the under 18s who've all been put on $35 a week contracts, I mean, what's that? That's in our under 18 squad. That's our youth intake from last year. That's 16 players on $35 a week. That's $560 just for those 14 youth players. And I'm inclined to just release them all. Can we just release them all? Got to pay compensation to do it because they're all on youth contracts. There's no youth grants. That's the problem. I'm just going to ignore the money, I think. We have signed a couple more players. Cliff Apollon, you've already met. He's 24 years old. He's a decent right back. He's coming in from Greater Lowell United. And then we've got a bit of our own back on the New Hampshire Bobcats. They've took a couple of our players this summer. So we've now taken their goalkeeper, Boris Kotlyarov, is a 17-year-old Russian. Does he have... Okay, he's got American as a second nationality. A 17-year-old Russian who played a full season for the New Hampshire Bobcats last year. But that's it for now because we now have to start playing matches. The registration window, I think, runs until the end of August again. If we just check in the rules, registration window, 26th of August. So we've got another month of being able to do transfers yet. We've got quite a few players we're offering deals to because I've just decided to ignore that. What is this? Why have we got someone joining us in January? I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. All I know is money is a disaster. We're already $300,000 in debt nearly. It's just going to plunge down, 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 down. And Goran Pavlov has no money, so we're probably going to get taken over at some point and be another one of these clubs that looks like they used to be an affiliate club, but aren't an affiliate club anymore. There's no examples of it in this league, but they're scattered all around these lower leagues. We played against the Vasco da Gama, not linked affiliate club before. So who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be a mess, but we've got some games to play. We'll play them in tomorrow's episode. Let's have a look at the season preview one more time. We haven't signed anybody who's gone into this team, and we have moved up the favourites list. We're now 6th favourites. So perhaps this squad isn't as unbalanced and disastrous as I think it is. We still don't really have any defenders. If we include the youth team, we can field a couple of centre-backs. Our full-backs need to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and at least we've got a decent goalkeeper now. Going forward, we're very good, although our striker leaves a little to be desired. But then, to be fair, Prince Fletcher did score 24 goals and got 17 assists last year. He was playing second fiddle to Kevin Smith through a lot of the season, but Smith is gone. It's the era of Prince Fletcher as our main man up front, along with Alejandro Tapia, who came in this summer via the Broadway Gunners. So very eventful. I feel like I've learned a lot about how these new American lower leagues work this summer, and it took me a little bit longer than it should have done to get up to speed, but we are slowly but surely getting a squad together, and fingers crossed I can continue adding to that squad over the next month and not end up with a disastrous squad that's going to get relegated. Fingers crossed. We'll see how we get on in tomorrow's episode to get more of an idea of exactly where we are. But if you have enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.